Good evening. My name is Ree Palmer, and I am a junior double major in History and Economics from Cedartown, Georgia. Had you been at Berry in the late 1950s, I would have been standing here tonight running for the presidency of the Women's SGA because it wouldn't have been considered appropriate for me to serve as the president of the Berry College Student Government Association. Despite this, discussions at both the men's and women's SGA meetings in those years would have revolved around one of the hot topics of the Cold War era, women's stockings. When I say stockings, I'm referring to the thick, old lady style tights that were required as part of the Berry uniforms for the presidency of John Bertrand. You've all seen the incredibly attractive mauve pink uniform dresses. For the first half century of the college's history, women also had to wear thick, ribbed tights, even during Georgia summers. As you've probably guessed, the women eventually won out and were allowed to wear modern nylon pantyhose, despite protests from campus administration and even the Board of Trustees. And yes, they actually spent many meetings discussing the appropriateness of pantyhose. Trust the history major on this one. There's a point behind my story, I promise. The issue at hand during those discussions was not simply women's clothing, but the stirrings of the beginning of the movement for women's equality at Berry and throughout the rest of the world. While things we discuss in this room may sometimes seem as trivial as women's stockings, we're really tackling bigger issues. When we discuss reusable to-go boxes for weeks and weeks on end, the bigger issue at hand is the relevance of environmental awareness. When we discuss the need for more water fountains, volleyball courts, and smoking policy on campus, we're really discussing the movement for health and wellness on our campus and throughout the rest of the United States. And while our Baked Goods program may seem like a fun program for parents and a huge hassle for the SGA exec team, it's actually highlighting a much bigger change in Berry demographics. In the 1950s SGA world, almost every student would have been less than an hour from home, and there would have been no need for a delivery service for goodies from parents. Throughout the years, this SGA body has advocated for reform across campus in accordance with national issues, including integration, war policy, women's equality, and LGBT rights. In SGA, we represent the voice of the students so that we collectively can advocate for the change our generation deems priority. Our job as executive officers for SGA is to take on the little issues that may sometimes seem meaningless in order to address the bigger issues of our world on our campus scale. It has been my honor to serve the students of Berry College and SGA for the past 3 years. I am honored, humbled, and frankly a little terrified at your trust in me to serve as your president. My pledge to you this year is to take on every little project and issue that comes through SGA with the knowledge that there's a much bigger picture behind the voices in this room. I cannot wait to work with you, the students of Berry College, to play a little part in the history of this institution that we all love.